No sound.
What? No sound? Okay. Why don't you wait till we're halfway through next time?
Sorry.
Hold on. Okay. Technical difficulties. Why don't you wait till we're halfway through next time? I got echoes. All right. Hold on. Please stand by. We're having technical difficulties.
Shifty Sunday.
I'm not sure why we have no sound.
You could hear it once you started talking.
Well, it's because I unmuted, but I shouldn't have to unmute. Might be in here.
I'm hearing.
Yeah, let me know if this works.
All right. Nope. No sound.
Well, we could just go on with the show, I guess, and play
I'm
it
just going
later.
to put my mic at it, so hold on.
Heck of an intro, folks.
For the S that disappeared. H is for house, it's changed, my dear. I is for incredible, lots of changes to our edibles. F is freaky cause Mandela effects are all the buzz. And T is for time that's running fast. Y is for your memories, hope they last. If it's not a fun day, won't you join me Shifty Sunday? Shifty Sunday for Emmys. Shifty Sunday, if you please.
Woohoo! Where's the round of applause?
All right. Well, that was something. We can next week we'll do better.
Hey, you know what? The people who are here through our growing pains are our best people. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it sure beats me just saying, hello, everybody. Hebrew77 here, and welcome to another Shifty Sunday. And with
thank you.
We got God's Arbor and Sagittarically speaking. Hey, Sagittarically speaking, how did you get in here?
Very carefully.
Oh. Did you hijack the show? What's going on here?
I don't know, maybe. You know, I did travel 8,000 years to Orion just to be on the show today.
Wait,
8,000 light years. 8,000 light years.
Whoops. Do you guys like this way or that way? Is that better?
Sure. The trifecta. That looks good.
Stonebender, that was Lorraine Lamar. That special thanks to her for coming up with that song. Did I say her name right?
You guys see the video, at least. Did you see the video?
Yes. I'm not sure if it was showed on YouTube, but I saw it on StreamYard.
Let's see here. I'm not even gonna. So, how's everybody's evening going so far? Besides the fact we've had some technical difficulties on air, but how's your lives doing this evening?
Oh, we're doing just great. Well, at least I am. I'm having a great time. How about you, Armor?
Good as always. Good as always.
Oh man, I tell you what. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight, a lot to go over.
Stone says that sounds like the best intro he ever heard. I agree, man. Lorraine did awesome for us.
All right, all right. Now, is she getting a free coffee mug or a T-shirt? I forget.
Ask her what she would like, perhaps. Would be the gentleman thing to do.
True.
And then give her the opposite of whatever she says.
That would be the Shifty Sunday thing.
That would be the shifty thing to do.
So, Lorraine, the question is, do you tell us what you really want, or do you go with the opposite, hoping we shift?
There you go. You say, just say what you don't say, the opposite of what you really want, and then it'll shift.
Perhaps. You can never control the shifts.
Man, I'll tell you what, man, there's been some things happening to me here last couple of days. I got to talk about top of the show.
It's absolutely normal for that to happen, Hebrew. It's part of growing up.
No, wait a minute. What is that? No,
Oh, never mind. We're not talking about that.
Not those kind of changes.
Oh, okay.
I went through those long ago.
I was just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But what was I gonna say, man?
Something's been going on the last couple of days with you.
Man, have you ever watched something and then swore like you've seen it before, but then when you go to watch it again, it's brand new to you?
For example?
I don't really have an example. Just like for the I don't know, man. It's like it's really weird. It seems like a lot of electrical appliances have been going wacky, and I know it's not just me, but it seems like it's been happening all over. It's happened to me in the past, not this week, but in the past, like the entire summer. Actually, air conditioner went out, refrigerator went out, DVD recorder went out, and it seems like within just the last few months or so, just a lot of electrical problems just all at once. Just like all these electronics been, just seems like when one goes out, it's like a whole bunch of them go out. And that could be just like a huge coincidence, and maybe it happens that way. Maybe does everything seem like it happens in threes with you guys?
Hello?
This is for anybody. Anybody can answer this.
Hello?
My wife said my stuff is old.
Oh, she's talking about your electrical appliances?
Yeah.
Okay. So what went out on you?
Huh?
Like, give me what electrical appliance has been acting up?
Is my computer going out too?
Yeah, your mic faded out there for a half second. I missed the last 10 seconds of what you were saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that's another thing. It seems like our microphones have been going out here lately, and mine's practically brand new, and Armor's is brand new. And I know he's had problems with his. But I was just talking.
So you do kind of need to repeat that last part, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I was talking about.
It was right before you said your wife said your stuff's getting old.
Yeah, I was.
So you came back on right then.
I was just talking about, like, my refrigerator, the air conditioner, the the water heater. That was another thing. That's
right.
It's not electrical.
It's electric water heater, isn't it?
It's a gas water heater.
Oh, okay.
But there's still, there's still electric parts on it, right?
Yeah, probably.
Um,
There shouldn't be anything electric in a gas water heater. I wouldn't think.
Oh, okay.
oh, well, I mean, like
Stay corrected.
I don't know.
So, is it still an ongoing issue, or has it been resolved? I mean,
Well, yeah, a lot of them's been resolved, but I'm bringing it up because I think it's weird that I'm not the only one that seems to be having this issue all together, and all seems like, I don't know. Seems like a lot of us have been having the same kind of issues.
I have a weird light in my hallway. You know how certain lights, when you flip the switch, it takes them a minute. Like it comes on, but it's kind of dim, and then after it warms up, it goes to full brightness. I'm sure you've encountered that before, right? Hello?
Who, me?
Yeah, you guys have had that happen to you, right?
About light doing what now? Sorry, I was reading.
Like when you first turn on the switch, it comes on, but it's kind of dim, and then after, I don't know, about 5 or 10 seconds, it comes to full brightness once it gets to a certain temperature or whatever.
Well, I noticed some fluorescent lights do that really bad. But ever since I switched over to the LCD lights, that don't do that anymore. But yeah, fluorescent lights, big time. They got to warm up.
Yeah. Well, this light does that, and I got used to it being that way. And then here, just recently, every so often, will flicker. But it's weird. It's timing, and it'll do it when I turn my head, or when I move like my arm, or like I reposition myself. It's almost like it senses movement, and then it decides to flicker. I don't know. Maybe it's loose in there, and somehow I'm moving the wall just when I turn my head. I don't know. I'm open to whatever theory you guys might have. I don't feel like I'm making enough of a motion that it should be affecting the light in the hallway, which is in a totally different room than I'm sitting in.
How big is your head if it causes a tremor when you turn it?
I know, right?
Right. I mean, dude.
I'm thinking maybe it's picking up something off of the cell phone, because like if I move my phone when I pick up my phone or move my phone, it'll do it. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Let me ask you this: do you have loose floorboards or something?
No, it's like I'm on a slab. There's no floorboards.
Oh, yeah, I'm on a slab too.
Could be a bad outlet, like Stone said.
Yeah, I might have to undo the light fixture and get a closer look at it.
Yeah, maybe getting something bad in there. Definitely don't want to let it go. Fire hazard.
You know what grinds my gears is, like, I have a ceiling fan, and I have light on the ceiling fan. It's been out for years, but it was like I went to go change the light bulb, and I think I went to change it from the regular light bulbs, and I think it's one of those ceiling fans that takes the regular light, like the old school light bulbs, but I tried to put one of the newer ones in there, and I think it might have screwed it up. This was quite a few years ago, though, when they first came out with those.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I've never been able to make it work. Like, I've checked the switches, I've checked the fuses and everything, and the fan works fine, but the light don't work. So
those ceiling fans can be temperamental, so it's hard to say.
I know you mentioned something about your ceiling fan, like you had it in the off position, unfortunately, when the string went out of it.
Yeah, I was making my bed, and I was, how you flip your cover when you're trying to, get it to lay flat.
Oh yeah.
And it caught the chain, and it pulled the chain out of the fan, the one that turns the light on and off. Like, you pull the chain in once, and it turns it on. You pull it off again, it turns it on. It turns it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the chain broke, and when it broke, I tried to get to it again to reconnect the chain, and I took the assembly apart. When I took the assembly apart, all the pieces to the light thing, like the chain thing, all just fell out into my hand, like 17 different pieces. There was no way I was ever going to figure out how to put it back together without, like the Japanese diagram from Hong Kong or something, and a degree from MIT. So unfortunately, when it flicked off, when the chain broke, it was in the off position. So now I can't even turn my fan on. It wasn't just the light; it was the actual fan, ceiling fan itself, thing that makes it spin. Like, you pull it once, it comes on kind of slow, and you pull it again, it speeds up. You pull it again, it goes faster. You pull it again, it goes off. Yeah, that chain.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, I've got the participants list up. Well, first I want to tell you what really grinds my gears. You know what really grinds my gears?
I don't know. I think you're about to tell us.
Is when you go to make your bed and you flip your blanket and you got a ceiling fan that's hanging like right over your bed, and you go to flip the cover and the cover hits the ceiling fan while it's moving and it goes. Just saying.
Okay.
That really grinds my gears.
I can see how that would grind your gears. What grinds my gears is looking up at a ceiling fan that it would be really nice if I could just figure out a way to turn it on.
I'll tell you what's really weird. Like if you roll your eyes in a circle, like in a continuous circle while you're looking at a moving ceiling fan, you can actually see the designs on the blades.
Huh.
Like you can see it while it's spinning. Like I can. I know how to roll my eyes like woo, in circles.
It's your superpower.
Yep. That's the only reason you can do that is because you're from Eternia.
Right. Yeah. You Earthlings don't have that.
Right.
Ability,
But it's nice to know what people from Eternia can do. Thanks for sharing.
We're ceiling fan deficient. Ceiling fan state deficient.
Oh man. Hey,
Autumn says you're the only maniac that gets a blanket caught up in the ceiling fan, and I'd have to agree. And I'm not even going to ask how it happened because I really, really do not want to know.
Oh boy. Oh no. I can already tell where this broadcast is going. Speaking of this broadcast, Armor Up.
You said something about the participants list earlier.
Yeah, I wonder if Armor Up could do us a favor and give the room a quick shout out if he could.
I thought you'd never ask. These poor people deserve a shout out, if nothing else, for putting up with this show. So
yeah, who's crazy enough to watch this stuff?
Yeah. Maybe they'd please don't shout us out. We don't want anyone to know we're here. We got Tobin Schwing, Jocko R. Sporting the Wrench, Lorraine Lamour, the star of our wonderful intro song. Thanks again, Lorraine. Let me see. Scroll down. Who else we got here? I know we got Autumn Leaves somewhere in this list. Stonebender, of course, in the house. Always a pleasure to see the stone. That might be all. I think that's all. I don't think I missed anybody. Oh, Oiler Greg. How could I miss Oiler Greg?
I know, right?
I don't know what was going on. Hey, RoboCop and Red Shirt Blues while I was scrolling up. So now
you want to share the image of the shirt that we have that we've got so far? No.
Hold on, one second. One second. I have to
hold on. Hold that thought there, partner.
All right.
Let me ask you this. Do you want me to do that first? Or we have something really kind of neat that we have to share with you guys. This came from Sagittarically Speaking. He found this on I won't say it's a very reliable news source, but nevertheless, it's the
Daily Star out of the UK. they're not. It's not like it's the Inquirer or anything, but I mean, what news is 100% legit anymore? To be honest with you.
True. Oh, well, I guess we do the shirt thing first because the shirt thing. Yeah, you want to do that?
We know it's real. We know it's real at least.
Yeah, the shirts are real. Oh, speaking of which, since Oiler Greg is here tonight, I want to ask him if he could drop a line and either my email or Armor Up's email, and let us know what you want on your shirt, man. And I've got the designs all ready to go and everything's all set. Just need to know what goes on the back of the shirt. What you want, how you want it personalized, or it could go on the front. I don't know. I would say it would most likely probably go on the back, but wherever you want it, man. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get a picture of that dug up while you guys talk amongst yourselves real quick.
Well, I got something I was going to share while you get that. There's a article from September 20th, just a few days ago. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the concept of antibiotics and how they help you. The doctor always insists that you make sure you take them all, or whatever it is, the bug that you got will become resistant to the antibiotic, and then it won't continue to work for you. The next time they'll have to use stronger ones or whatever. Well, take that kind of theory in mind, and then this lab called Oxytech was trying to basically genetically modify mosquitoes using their mosquito technology, and basically the mosquitoes are more than just a pest. I'm reading the article now. They can be downright dangerous species of disease. And one of the most innovative ideas to control population of the bugs has been to release genetically modified male mosquitoes that produce unviable offspring. But unfortunately, a test of this in Brazil appears to have failed, with genes from the mutant mosquitoes now mixing with the native population. The idea sounded solid. Male Aedes aegypti mosquitoes were genetically engineered to have a dominant lethal gene when they mated with wild female mozzies. This gene would drastically cut down the number of offspring they produce, and the few that were born should be too weak to survive long. Ultimately, the program should cut down the population of mosquitoes in an area up to 85%. In some early tests, this of course means fewer bug-borne diseases such as dengue fever, yellow fever, Zika, malaria, etc., etc. And since the offspring don't live long enough to breed themselves, genes from the engineered bugs should stay nearly out of the gene pool of the wild population. The only viable effect should be the reduction of mosquito population. But unfortunately, this has not been the case. Researchers from Yale University have now examined the mosquitoes around the city in Jacobina, Brazil, where the largest test of this technique has taken place over the last few years. And not only did numbers bounce back up from the months after the test, but some of the native bugs they found have retained genes from the engineered mosquitoes. The claim that the gene from the release strain would not get into the general population because offspring would die, that obviously is not what has happened. The GM mosquito strain was developed by a company called Oxytech. Basically, now they have, make a long story short, they have around 450,000 modified males that were released every week for 27 months, totaling tens of millions of bugs to keep tabs on them. And basically what they have created is a super mosquito. The few that survived, that didn't die, just like in any, were the strongest. the most vile ones, the ones that had the strongest DNA. They were resistant. They're the ones that didn't die, and they survived. They actually lived. So now they have a super mosquito that's next to impossible to kill, and it still carries all the strains. So the whole thing basically backfired. And now, not only do we still have mosquitoes, we have super mosquitoes that have been genetically created.
I'll tell you what, brother, that is some messed up stuff. I'm telling you, dude, you go messing around with nature, and that's what happens, man. You remember, like, I was talking to you about this on the phone, but got armor up. Do you remember, like, the bees? Like, they tried to take the regular average honeybees and they tried to do a strand of like DNA to make them the super power honeybees so they could produce more honey or something like that. And what happened with that? Armor?
He's probably muted.
I don't know. I don't remember that. I mean, I remember the killer bees back in like I think that might have been the 80s.
Yeah.
We had forms of killer bees, but I don't think they were created. I don't remember. It was too long ago.
Any thoughts on the new breed of mosquitoes that we've
you said
lab created?
Yeah, you said it was a horrible mistake or disaster or whatever, but no, I think actually probably everything went according to just the way they wanted it to. Population control, the main agenda.
Right. Yeah, and it happens to be in the. I mean, they happen to. Why would you test it in a place in Brazil where like all these fevers are like the most rampant? Why not test it in a place like Alaska where if they got away they would just die anyway because mosquitoes don't naturally survive there.
Well, exactly. My point exactly.
But those killer bees, I was thinking for some reason the killer bees were a result of them doing mixing DNA with or giving bees like regular honeybees. They were doing something, crossbreeding them with a powerful strain of mutant bees of some sort, and that's how we got killer bees, I thought. I don't know.
I don't know. It was so long ago, I can't remember exactly, but I do remember, there was the movie Killer Bees all about it. And they were coming. Tillman Swing says they were coming from Africa. I thought they were coming from like South. Oh, yeah, my wife said it was Africa. All right. Yeah, like I said, that was the 80s.
Here's a similar article I just looked up. Invasion of the Frankenbees, the danger of building a better bee. It says the spring of 2008 was brutal for Europe's honeybees. In a lot of places, honeybees are dying. I know that they are really trying to figure out exactly what's going on with the bees and why, like
chemtrail. Chemtrail.
Yeah, it very well could be. But basically, here it's saying that it concluded that the bees in Germany died of mass poisoning by the pesticide clothianidinium, which can be 10,000 times more potent than DDT in the months leading up to the bee crisis. The clothianidin, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it, developed by Bayer Corp, which essentially means Monsanto, from a class of insecticides called neonicotinoids, has been used up and down the Rhine following an outbreak of corn rootworm. The pesticide is designed to attack the nervous system of crop-munching pests. They're designing chemicals to put on food that attacks nervous systems. I mean, come on, who really thinks this through?
Thanks, Monsanto.
Yeah. I want my food lightly doused with nervous system attacking chemicals, please. Not heavy on it. If you could just put a little bit on there. It muddles the bee's super acute sense of direction and upsets their feeding habits, while it can also alter the queen's reproductive anatomy and sterilize males. Sounds like a great product.
Right?
As contaminated beehives piled up, Bayer paid, it looks like 1.76 million euros into a compensation fund for beekeepers in the affected area. Don't worry, we'll throw some cash at it and continue to attack nervous systems. Is that cool?
Sprinkle some on my Honey Nut Cheerios. Why not?
Yeah. No, the answer isn't stop using the chemical. The answer is give the beekeepers some money and tell them to shut the heck up.
Right? No, that's craziness, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing all over with what they're doing. Everything, our food, our water. Our water's, laced with who knows what. We know it's laced with fluoride for one thing. And from what I hear, like everyone says, oh, well, fluoride's a good thing, isn't it? No, it's not. No, it isn't. Fluoride is not a good thing. Everyone thinks that fluoride strengthens and cleans teeth and stuff. And in reality, from what I heard, it's actually very harmful for the body.
Well, that's been for decades, but look what good it did.
Yeah.
It's down here a little farther in the article. It says honeybees originated in Eurasia, basically like Europe and Asia combined, roughly 35 million years ago. And as long as they have had steady access to flowering plants, they have thrived. But in the modern world, bees face all kinds of dangers. Colony collapse is not a single malady, but rather an amalgamation of different challenges. Alongside the dangers of pesticides, diseases such as Israeli acute paralysis virus, gut parasites, and invasive parasites such as, more words I can't pronounce, can overwhelm the bees' immune systems, and industrial agriculture imposes its own threats. I don't really think the bees stand a chance, man, if we keep up at this rate.
And that's what they want. That's exactly what they want. That's what the evil corporation, man. I was thinking about that in my head earlier. Like, man, I just once, would it be so wrong for me to just say, hey, can we have one of these evil corporations fall flat on their face just once? Can I just, would it be wrong for me to pray for something like that? I mean, geez, I mean, I know that you shouldn't pray for something like that but still though, I mean, it's an evil corporation.
Well, I mean, the way the system has just gotten so much worse. I mean, you don't walk into a congressman's office nowadays. You don't get access to even step inside to say, shake his hand and introduce yourself. Just a local congressman. Unless, I mean, probably even true down to your local mayor. Unless you happen to grow up with him and go to school with him and actually know him. If you're just Mr. Joe Blow, unless you got a checkbook in your hand and you're ready to sit down on his desk and grab one of those fancy pens and write him a check, he hasn't got time for you.
That's one good thing I could say about not congressmen we have now, but the local congressmen we used to have. Like we could walk in if we had a problem, if no one else can help, and if you could find them, maybe you could hire your local congressman. No, I'm just kidding, but no, but seriously though, you used to be able to walk in, hey, so and so, how's it going? How are the kids and this and that, and you'd say if you had a problem, he'd usually be able to help you out. And like you said, you can't really do that anymore. But the good thing about where I'm from, you kind of still can though. And the local mayor, hell, I know him real well, so he goes to our local pub and chills out, and so. But you're right. You can't really get things done. Hey, what are you doing? Heating up pizza rolls?
Coffee.
Oh man, I was gonna say, if you're heating up pizza rolls, give me one, will you?
What happened?
What do you mean?
I heard boom.
Just notification.
Oh, okay.
But why we've got everyone on here is, especially Oiler Greg, since it was his original idea to begin with. God's Armor has the T-shirt up on his screen. If you allow me the screen share.
I got the actual Teespring website, so I'll flip through all the colors you got, dude.
All right, cool. So I'll go ahead and get you set up for screen share in there. There we go.
Well, look at that nice shirt.
So and I've got. Only thing is, I couldn't find pink with this. I thought, that's the closest I could get to pink right there.
Well, I'm pretty sure Oiler Greg would probably like that color, the Oiler blue.
Well, I meant like,
for females,
for the ladies,
right?
But yeah, you can pick out whatever color you want. What the heck
is that noise?
It sounds like he's undoing a bunch of Velcro. What's going on, brother?
I'm sitting down. I'm not going to move anymore. Is it done?
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
Okay. I'm not getting back up.
No, it sounds.
Maybe here in a little bit, but not anytime soon.
Oh, okay. Sound like you.
Sorry about that. I should have muted, and that's my fault.
So there you go. What is that? Denim blue? Would you call that denim blue?
Yeah, it's blue. I'm not real good with naming colors.
So there's that one. And then you got black or light black. It looks like a lighter black, really.
Or a charcoal black, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that color. That's the one I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm kind of fond of that myself. Oh, boy, you stand out in the crowd with that on, wouldn't you?
Right? And I believe that's a lighter blue. Was that like, what would you call that one? Like
sky blue?
Yeah, it kind of looks like sky blue. So we got that one. And purple.
All right. And anybody in the comments have anything to say about it?
The shirts start out at $20 a piece, by the way.
Oh, they start out at what do they go up to?
No, I know. I mean, they're $20 a piece.
Oh, okay. So they finish at the same place they start out at. That's good to know. But the people in Orion only have to pay 20. The people back still in Sagittarius reality, 8,000 light years from here, they have to pay $30 a shirt.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it has to that 8,000 light years of shipping. That's at least $10.
I thought, over here, if I want to buy a shirt, it costs me a lot more too, because I'm all the way in Eternia.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Plus, you can never trust Orco to actually deliver the package.
Oh man, Orco would mess it up big time. Of course, for Red Shirt Blues, we could always beam it over to his place.
Now, Red Shirt Blues, would he want a red shirt or a blue one? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I picked red, but I can always make one red if he wanted red. You think I should add red?
Was red an option?
Yep.
I added a lot of colors to mine. I mean, it don't cost nothing. I picked almost.
Yeah,
every-
just put whatever color is available. Just put it in there. Yeah.
So I should pick all the colors then.
I mean, why not? Why limit?
I don't know.
The color.
I don't know. I guess you're right. You're right. So with that out of the way, Sagittariusly speaking, you've got something here that I'm going to go ahead and present to everyone. Let's see if I can bring it up real quick. I'll bring this one up. Since Armor Up brought up the t-shirts, I'll bring this one up. And it's a video. You guys, now what's this one from, Sagittariusly speaking?
It's from the Daily Star. It's basically a major publication in the United Kingdom. It's almost like their equivalent of their New York Times for New York. Daily Star is for the UK. And basically what we're looking at here is Iranian military have been filmed firing at a mystery object traveling with alien technology, online viewers have claimed. Are you playing it now?
I'm trying to, but
I was going to read this first.
There's some music. Sorry, go ahead. You can't hear that, can you?
Yeah.
You can hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Stop it.
Let me stop it. Sorry, guys. Whoops.
Well, let me finish the article and then you can play the video.
Sorry, man. Okay, go ahead.
All right, continue.
Wait, where am I? You can see all this?
I don't know. I'm trying to read the article.
Oh, I better stop here and then. Okay, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
All right. In the astonishing video, which we're about to watch, or maybe have already watched, anti-aircraft artillery can be seen unloading a barrage of rounds at a glowing object in the skies. The craft somehow seems to evade all the shots fired by moving at incredible speeds and pulling off otherworldly maneuvers. As it moves closer to the camera, the craft seems to be shaped like a boomerang. It was filmed on September the 8th near the town of Saravan in the southeast of the country. So basically, the footage has since made waves across the internet, with many claiming the striking maneuvers of the object mean it can't possibly be a normal aircraft. Popular YouTube theorist Disclosed TV commented, the military believes it is a UAV spy drone, but since this aircraft is so fast, stops midair, turns instantly, and immediately accelerates to incredible speeds, it is more likely it is something equipped with alien technology. So I thought we would just watch the video and then decide for ourselves what we think.
Got something going on here.
All right.
I don't want to accept that. How do I have to hit accept?
I think so.
All right. There it is.
They value your privacy, so it's okay.
Right. Okay, so I got this. Can everybody see this?
Yeah, can you full screen it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me do that. Well, what happened there? I think it was full screen.
Oh, okay. I meant the video itself sometimes when you start playing it.
Oh, what's going on here? Let's see if you guys can. I'm going to go ahead and play it now. Might take a minute. Oh, boy. Well.
Here it goes.
Oh, a stinking ad. Really?
Well, you got to know that's bound to happen.
Ad block
Sorry,
free.
guys.
Oh, there we go.
Man.
They're really bad shots, aren't they?
Like stormtroopers. Damn.
They're unloading everything they got on it. So yeah, can't seem. So for some reason, can't seem to hit it. So what do you guys think? Any thoughts, comments?
I tell you, man, it looks like I told you earlier before we went on the air. Oh shoot! Sorry, guys. Okay, let me. Okay. At least I'm not screen sharing right now.
What do you think the object itself looks like? That's what I want to know. What do you make of that?
I think it looks a little bit like Star Wars or like something out of some kind of, like you said, they're bad shots. I made a comment said it looks kind of like stormtroopers shooting at something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they always miss.
Yeah. Armor Up. What do you think of that? It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't watch it like you guys did beforehand. So. But definitely looked like what real anti-aircraft fire would look like at night, being in the anti-aircraft field. Although we had missiles, but yeah, those were more like the what they used to call them back then. I think they were called Vulcans. I don't know what they're called now, but yeah, rapid fire anti-aircraft gun, and that would be tracer rounds. That's why they look like that. Every third round's a tracer to help you aim.
Tracer ammo. Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's pretty wild. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious what the chat room has to say, if anything.
I'll tell you what.
Up in there.
I feel sorry for E.T., or maybe I don't feel sorry for him because they, like you said, they were shooting like crazy and missing. So,
yeah, he seemed to be perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently that's just a short clip. The video doesn't cap. They were firing for like 20, 30, 40 minutes on this thing, and they couldn't hit it.
I could see why he wanted the phone home, though. It's like
Robin says it sounded like 8 PS. Lorraine said, I can hardly see it. I feel sorry for the UFO. Abba's girl, she didn't see it. She translates, so she just listened. Tobin said, that's what the fake space station looks like if you guys are talking about that weight thing.
Looks like
I'll share the link in chat so that if they want to watch the video themselves, they can.
Yeah, we could send the link. Hold on a second. Let me go.
I already did it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's on it.
He's on it, man. He's got it. I'll tell you what, brother. That is some wild stuff. And when I first saw it, I was like, that can't be real. That can't. And it probably. I don't know. You got to see it for yourself and judge it for yourself. But it probably still isn't real. But I don't know. I don't know what to think of it.
Well, that's a lot of aircraft fire. They got to be shooting at something.
True.
Or it's some type of night training exercise that someone's just filming and then they put a white dot in it. That's possible too. But a training exercise usually don't last a long time. You don't waste that many shells.
Yeah, they're definitely.
I mean, the reports of the people who were witnessing it and making the video are saying they I mean, even though you only get that short clip because they're not going to give away, they're wanting to make a media deal or write a book or, get radio interviews or whatever. They're not going to give away the whole video online for us to watch, but they're claiming that, they have video of them just for extended period of time shooting at this thing and then being impossible, and it doesn't leave. It just keeps outmaneuvering their ability to hit it.
Of course, the official explanation is going to be that it was a training exercise. That's probably what the government's going to tell us.
Well, of course.
Sorry, Armor, you were wanting to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, here's something related that my wife seen earlier on her news feed thingy.
You're coming in low, brother.
Coming in low?
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, you faded away for a second. You said something related?
Yeah. That my wife seen on her news feed. Supposedly, you know the band Blink 182?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess they got video of a UFO, and the Navy has come out and said it's real. So I don't know anything about it. My wife just seen it on her news feed.
So we're getting disclosure.
Well, we knew disclosure would be coming. I guess the video is a couple years old. I don't know. I never knew Blink 182 was filming videos of UFOs. It wasn't supposed to get released, but it got released, and the Navy said it's real. So, but yeah, we was expecting disclosure. How else are they going to pull off their alien agenda? And the crowd goes silent.
Well, I was looking it up. I'm trying to see if I can find the video. I just got a still image. But it says 3 famous UFO videos are real, the Navy says. But please call the mysterious objects UAPs, unidentified. What does UAP stand for? Unidentified.
Unidentified aircraft
objects that are like
aerial phenomena.
Oh, okay. Unidentified aerial phenomenon, because that's way cooler than just unidentified flying object, which pretty much means the exact same thing. It just doesn't have the Agent Mulder and Scully, brand on it.
Stigma.
Or scientific.
Yeah. I tell you, man, I'm not surprised. I would not be one bit surprised that is real and that it doesn't happen more often. I mean, sure, it's got to happen more often. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
so
they're just wasting shell.
There's probably a lot more incidents like that we don't even know about that haven't been captured on film.
Well, hear this. UAP incursions in pilot training areas are frequent, according to Gradishir, and they have become more frequent since the public use of drones in 2014. He declined to say how many occur within a given time, but there's a guy named John Greenenwald, and he's the founder of the Black Vault. Ooh, the Black Vault. Don't that sound interesting? It describes itself as a database of government secrets and projects. Said this was the first time the Navy openly admitted that UFOs or UAPs exist. Black Vault reported on the Navy's position earlier in September. The government's position on UFOs has recently been referenced in media reports, including in June when President Trump told ABC News George Stephanopoulos, hey, I can pronounce that he didn't particularly believe in UFOs. It has seemed like just a mention of aliens, UFOs, UAPs. It seems like the mainstream media has really kind of been covering it more than usual. And it looks like I did find the video here.
Okay. I'm wondering something. This just came into my head. It's like, could that have been some sort of elaborate, like, drone or some kind of enemy aircraft that we haven't discovered yet, that technology that we don't know exists or something like that? I'm just wondering. I'm just want to play devil's advocate here.
Well, that's definitely one of the arguments. That's what some experts are saying, that it's not an alien per se, like somebody from another planet, but it's just some type of technology that the military has has came up with. I mean, that could have just very well been a test. Could have been the Iranian government testing. They put it up there and say, "You guys fire. Let's see just to see how they react and how well it performs." Like Armor was saying, a lot of times they do a test. So I mean, it's hard. All we can really do is speculate, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you what. Whatever country owns that aircraft, if it was earthly made, that they're going to wipe everything out. That was a lot of anti-aircraft fire. Like I said,
it was.
Aircraft. If it's dodging that much anti-aircraft fire that long, we ain't got a chance if it ain't ours. So.
And as fast as it was moving too, I mean, you could tell just how fast it was moving by looking at it and how it was making maneuvers like
I said, remember them streaks you're seeing, the light, that's every third shell. So there's 2 times as many more shells you ain't seeing. Every streak you see is 3 shells. That's a lot of shells.
Huh.
It's possible for a normal aircraft to get through a barrage like that. Just there's no way you couldn't maneuver it. No, it'd be impossible.
hell of a pilot.
Oh no, I mean the G-force alone, you couldn't do it. I don't care how good a pilot you are, you can't. No, you couldn't make that maneuver.
Yeah, your body couldn't withstand it. The G-forces involved and things of that nature, right?
You'd be done. You'd black out.
I mean, I kind of get a little sick on the whirly spin at the carnival.
It would have to either be of an alien nature, or it'd have to be just
it's unmanned. It's
unmanned.
It's probably
Right. That's what I was getting at, like a drone, like I said earlier on, like that,
But you're missing my whole point. I don't, manned or not, there's no way it could dodge that type of fire.
True.
It's just, I mean, wow. Maybe a small enough drone, maybe, but the odds would be astronomical. That's a lot of shells from a whole bunch of different directions. They weren't just firing in one direction. If you notice, they were coming in all directions, firing at that thing.
Well, I mean, I don't want to. I want to put on my tinfoil hat here for just a second, but this was back, and I think I said in the article it said it was back in August 9th, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that time. So since then, we've had a lot of escalations with Iran, and other people would have easily, other administrations probably would have already declared war, with that whole oil thing being bombed and just some of the stuff that's been going on. And they keep talking about, but Trump keeps not going to war. I mean, is it possible that these aliens have made themselves known to our governments and have told them that they're not going to let us? We're not going to let you guys blow each other to kingdom come. So here we are. You can't shoot us. You can't stop us. We are in control now, and they're just not telling us that it exists. Is that why we're not? That's why we're not attacking. Attacking them the way we would normally attack them. I'm just throwing out speculation here. I don't know. Just a thought I had.
If it's something like that has that kind of technology, it's possible the government, not just the U.S. government, but I'm talking about other governments, other countries, known about it a long time ago, that they knew about these things a long time ago, and just were trying to. And they just, like you said, they were just sitting, just waiting. You know what I mean? Just kind of like seeing what we're made of, or seeing what we and all the other countries are made of, and what kind of firepower we had and all that before they, observing. That's the word I was looking for.
Well, that's the other thing to note there in that video. I mean, that thing is evading all that fire, but it never once returned fire. It never once fired back.
Right. There's no telling. Yeah, I mean, just imagine. There's no telling what kind of firepower that thing might have had if it's equipped with it, which I'm sure it is.
You guys want to watch the other video, the Blink 182 one?
Yeah.
It's in Shifty Sunday if you want to.
Oh, Armor, can you bring that one up?
Yeah, 1 second.
But it is interesting how it seems like this the whole topic has kind of started to hit mainstream media more than it ever has before, and it does seem like I think the answer is probably that it's a technology that we haven't been exposed to yet. That seems to be the more logical explanation to me, anyway.
I just don't want to get hit with some strange Area 51 stuff like we did that one day. Like,
all right, I got it.
Okay, let's share. Got it up there.
I got it muted, so won't be no sound.
Oh, okay. Because I take it there's.
Oh, this is 2004 Nimitz. So we talked about this once before.
Really?
Yeah, this is Nimitz. It says.
Oh yeah.
You want me to turn the sound on?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be any problem. Unless it's just music.
I was expecting to hear some Blink 182.
Yeah, you would think so.
I love how they put the whole transient ambient sound effects to the video.
Ooh.
That's a waker upper.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't have put the sound to it.
Though that, I mean, as cool as it was, I hardly could tell what was going on.
Yeah, I can't really.
But you know what?
They're basically showing you what the F-18 is recording in his fire screen.
Yep.
He's looking at that object, then he zoomed into 2 times, and you can tell it's like an oblong object.
Next thing you know, I'm going to have the Men in Black showing up at my door.
Well, this is pretty much public information. I think you're okay. But if you do get any mail from Rachel, Nevada, I wouldn't open it right away.
No. Wow. That is some stuff right there, I'll tell you.
I'm going to pop in the chat and see what they have to say, if anything.
Well, they're saying all kinds of things. I haven't really been paying much attention. I guess I should. I've been watching that. Oh, I watched that video, trying to figure out what was going on. Definitely some interesting stuff, man. I'll tell you what. Here in a little bit, if you guys want to, we can open up the phone lines if people are wanting to call in. You guys can call in and talk about maybe what you saw on the show, or talk about if you got a problem, and if no one else can help, and if you could find us, then maybe you should hire No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I was waiting for you to say the A team.
Oh, I do have.
Are we the S team, the Shifty Sunday team?
Yeah, we're the Shifty Sunday team. Yeah, I wouldn't call us the S team. That might stand for something else.
Oh, okay. Well, it stands for esteem. Get it? Esteem. Never mind.
Esteem.
Yes. Yeah.
We're the esteem members
Yeah.
of the. Yeah. But if Ar's ready, we could put the phone number up there anytime he's ready.
Oh,
Well, you go ahead and pop it up there. I mean, they won't be able to get through until he actually turns it on, but they can at least have the number.
It's been on since we started.
Oh, there you go.
Well, there we go. I'll put it on the screen there. There you go. Anybody wants to call in? Like
Toby Schwing says the 18 bullets never hit anything either.
No, that's true.
And somehow they you notice their van never once had a bullet hole in it.
You know, that goes true for G.I. Joe also. G.I. Joe couldn't hit anybody either, and neither could the Stormtroopers. But I've already mentioned the Stormtroopers, so.
And Euler Greg says we got to be ready for any contingency. Quick action is going to be necessary.
At this point, I think the only thing we can do is stick our heads between our legs and, kiss our butts goodbye.
Well, we've had enough shows that we know that it's really in God's hands, and there's no sense in worrying about it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all we could do is crawl underneath our desk. We know to do that. That works for anything. A nuclear blast, an earthquake, alien attack, anything.
Very true, very true.
Of course, I don't know about the second coming, though. I don't think a wooden desk would help with that much. You better just be ready. Just be prepared.
Data Junkie says, and you guys ever hear what that Egyptian general said? Said he saw that made him refuse the command to invade Israel during the 6-Day War.
Who said that?
That's a comment from Data Junkie. He was referring to an Egyptian general.
Let me show it real quick. Now I'll put the number back up there. Oh, sorry. I put the last. I better just leave the number up there.
Abba's girl wants us to know that we need to make sure we have boots, really good boots for all kinds of weather, not just not just a pair of galoshes. I just wanted to say galoshes.
Galoshes. Put on your galoshes. I'll tell you what, man. I'll have my shotgun ready, plenty of ammo, so I can hunt me some deer, rabbit, squirrel, all kinds of stuff. I can stay sufficient when it comes to hunting food. How about you, Sagittarius speaking?
There's not really any hunting ground close to me, nor anything to hunt besides geckos and squirrels.
Oh, when it comes down to it, I mean, though.
I guess I could go out and try to find a gator, maybe.
I've got lots of gator meat. Catfish, y'all got some big catfish. Heck, there's lots of stuff down there.
There you go. Yeah, you could be like.
I could definitely fish. There's plenty of fish around me.
You know what they say, man. You teach a man to fish, and he eats for all of his days. You give a man the fish, and he's only going to eat for one day.
I think I've heard that before. I can't remember where, though.
Yeah, I think I said it backwards.
Oh, okay.
But the point is still there, though, somewhere.
I get the gist of it. It seems like like I said, it seems like I've heard that somewhere before. It must have been an episode of the A-Team.
What? An episode of the A-Team. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, man. One thing I'm gonna do is start stocking up on coffee, and I better get myself a grinder too, and start learning how to grind my own coffee beans. Because when it comes to the end of the world, I better have plenty of coffee.
Yeah, because you can't go all the way to Columbia to go get some more.
And sweetener packets too. I better stock up on sweetener packets.
Yeah, well, sweetener packets will soon become a distant memory of things you once had, along with the Colombian coffee.
What do you think?
I hear that you can make a coffee substitute out of dandelions. It doesn't have caffeine in it, but it tastes somewhat like coffee.
Now,
the settlers used to use that.
Armor, you won't have any trouble with sweetener packets because you drink your coffee. How do you drink your coffee?
Black. Still a man. I don't need no sweetener packets. I'm sweet enough.
Haven't heard that in a long while.
Yeah, that's like a trademark slogan. You could have that on a T-shirt for real.
He should have that on the coffee mug.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
The phone lines are open, by the way, guys.
All right, so call in. We are hoping you call in. We know you're out there. You know you're thinking about picking up the phone, so just pick it up and dial 720-835-5825. The PIN number is 64559.
So true, Stone. So it's amazing how many wild edibles there are in any given state. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. There's a lot of forgotten ways, like things that people used to do. And we're not talking hundreds of years ago, just 20, 30, 50, 60 years ago, less than 100, that have just been totally forgotten. Like, I don't know that my daughter has ever, maybe once I can recall as she was a child, having her snap peas. But my grandma, I'd go over her house on the weekends, almost every weekend. Snap green beans, snap some green beans that came out of her garden. There's a whole big bushel of them that needed snapped. Just growing a garden. I don't know that my daughter would know how to grow a garden, but my grandpa taught me how to grow a garden when I was a kid, but I never passed it on to my kids. I feel like maybe my kid knows how to use a iPhone better than me, but they don't know how to plant a tomato plant.
Yep, absolutely. It's a lost art. And it's partially our generation's fault. Like you said, we didn't pass it on. I mean, most of us didn't. Some of us did. We do have a caller.
All right.
All right, let's take the caller.
I was going to say real quick before we get the caller on the line, though, I was going to say that my grandpa passed on the gardening skills down to me, and I do plan on teaching my daughter how to garden sooner or later. Just saying. Hopefully,
yeah, you definitely should.
Oh, yeah. There might not be a later, so I'd probably do it sooner.
Yeah.
Yep, get her out there with you next time you're out there.
Sure enough. So let's get that caller on the line. What do you say?
Bakersfield, California. You're on the line. Yeah,
hello.
Hello.
This is Awake and Activate.
All right.
Well, hello, Awake and Activate. You coming in loud and clear.
5x5. Actually, I just changed my channel name. You guys know who I am? You got two guesses.
Michelle.
Ah, ding, 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 ding.
Oh, wow. You got that on the first take.
Sagittarius?
I didn't want to guess because I could
Yep.
see where it's from and that gave me a clue. So
You're awesome, man. You're awesome. Anyway,
I noticed that you changed your channel name. That's the only reason I got it right.
I did. I'm in the process of transferring, like the board and everything, the page over and stuff. It's just it's going to be like a progression over to the new name. Yeah.
Well, cool. Good for you.
They're actually experiences, and by putting it out as opinions, I'm giving my experiences and asking for other people's opinions or for them to share their experiences. So therefore, it's actually, the name didn't actually fit what the channel purpose was for. So I changed it. So anyways, I wanted to talk about that, the aircraft missiles that were or shots that were being fired, and how lucky they were that they didn't shoot each other down, because I did see the crossfire, like Armor Up Ron was talking about. I mean, they could have been totally idiotic and panicking to shoot this orb that is probably not even from this realm and could pop back and forth. So they, it may not have even been a solid object. But I was just amazed at how the crossfire was going and that they weren't actually shooting each other.
Well,
and it almost looked like a video game. I don't know how you guys, looked at it, but, one of those shots, I mean, if they didn't hit each other, of course they're not going to hit the target. Just a perspective. Also, I don't know if you guys have heard of this place. If you guys have been watching my channel, you probably have by now. But there's a place up in Washington, right across the bridge from Oregon into Washington, which, by the way, Oregon by Mount Shasta is a hot spot. But we were over by Mount Hood at a place called Shifty Ranch. And they have
they were doing some type of open house recently, weren't they?
They were at the open house?
No, they did one recently that Shifty Ranch that certain people could come and observe. Didn't they have something like that? Yeah.
We all went up there with Unbiased on the Fence, but it wasn't like it wasn't a conference or any of that. It was very relaxing. It was like, I guess there's rumors that the place is like a cult. It's not a cult. It reminded me more of a campground. And my husband and I have been camping since pretty much before the accident. We used to go camping a lot with the children and stuff. And, it had the shower bathrooms. You could tent camp. You could have your RV. I mean, it was pretty much everybody could do whatever they wanted, whenever you wanted, because it wasn't set up like a conference. And he actually opens up his ranch from Thursday until Monday. And then from Monday through Thursday, I think, he does like a clearing or, restores everything, because people will drag in with them like anger, jealousy, and things like that. They come in with people, I think a lot of people mistake like demons. They'll say, oh, they've got a demon, but really they don't have their own emotions under control. They're not seeing the lesson and what they're to be learning from whatever experience they're having here. But anyways, more to the point on Shifty. Well, there's an area, and he's got a bunch of chairs lined out on this field. And over at Mount Hood, just about, he could tell us what time that it would start becoming active. And the light that was bouncing around that they were firing at that looked like Star Wars type laser guns, reminded me of Darth Vader and Luke having their lightsaber war. But anyways,
this reminded me of
Yeah. Well, the mountain would start blinking, at a certain time of night, but it would be like halfway down the mountain. And on this mountain, you can't get up the mountain. You know how there's certain areas, that are shielded or protected, and a lot of times we think, well, it's the military protecting it, or let's use Area 51 for example. That one probably is actually protected by the military, but there's areas that are protected by. I'm sorry about my dogs, you guys. There are areas that are protected by the, extra dimensionals or ETs or whatever, inner earth beings, whatever. And he had a group about 2 weeks prior to when we came out there for a conference, and they were remote viewers, and they actually, usually they get blocked, but they allowed them to go in and check it out. And there is a huge base underneath the Mount Hood, which is pretty interesting, but it's not a military base. It's theirs, like where they land their crafts and stuff like that. And then all night long, it probably happens during the daytime too. It's just with the sun out, it's not as easy to see, but you can see these things like going all across the sky. Now, I'm not a big UFO person. That's more of a thing that twirls my husband's beanie. He's like, really, UFO, let's go, So I'm more into the spiritual aspect, the spiritual side, and the growth from within. And he likes, and this place kind of gives you the best of both worlds, and you can feel the love energy, that emanates from those grounds. But anyways, we watched one, like that white thing that we were watching bolts all over the place, turn into two, and then it turned into three, and then the third one did like this little dance, and I was like, no way, because then I looked away from it, I looked back, and it was back to being one big one again. And then I was like, we didn't just see that, I'm a scoffer. And then a few minutes later, it did it again. The one divided into two, and then one came out the bottom, and the bottom one started dancing around again. Well, this stuff was flying around in the sky. I don't know. I went to bed about midnight, and people were out until 3 a.m, until they got completely wore out, watching all of these different things flying around in the sky. I mean, it's something you need to experience for yourself. But I never knew that place existed, or that he opened up his ranch to the public. And, it's a nice camping ground. It's very reasonable. You can get breakfast, where you can get a hot breakfast every morning, so you can add that to your campsite, so you don't have to worry about getting up and fixing breakfast and all that stuff. But one side of the campground is that field where, the Skywatch field. But as you walk around to the other side, there's all kinds of animals. The deer walk right up to you. There's forest, there's a river. There's fruit trees. You can pick the fruit right off the trees and eat them. It's a beautiful place. It looks small, but it's not. It's very large, and they got yurts and cabins and all different accommodations for different people's needs. But I never knew it existed up there until Shane found it, and it changed my perspective on what the heck are those things. I seen them with my own eyes. I can't deny what I've seen with my own eyes now, even though it's not something that I would, proclaim. I wouldn't say it if I didn't see it. And
that's what I wanted to interject and ask you. I mean, there's a lot of naysayers that say that this ranch is doing some type of.
I didn't know to start laughing. I was reading the comment.
Yeah, he's got a lot of.
Yeah, that to say that he's just putting on a show, a light show, or something like that. But you've actually been there. You've seen it with your own eyes. I mean,
Yeah,
you're saying you were convinced 100% that it's not some type of spectacle that he's putting on.
no, he could. Now, what he has some pretty expensive equipment. He has, I don't know this, honey. How much do you think that? What was that thing that he had on his lap? Like he lays out there with us on Skywatch. He has night vision. He has this night vision thing where he can see where they are, and then he has this laser light, which, for as far as I knew, I thought they were illegal because it's a strong one. And what he'll do is he will shine that blue light laser into the sky, and he'll circle an area for everybody that's there visiting to look in that area because he can see it before it becomes visible with the night vision equipment that he has. It's over $3,000 for this one piece of equipment that he has. And then that laser is like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be an airplane pilot flying over because it would blind them. And so that's the only thing that I seen that he used that was artificial. And that was to help point out what direction to look. It's a big sky. I mean, we're looking at a mountain, and then we're looking at a huge, open area with stars all over. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. But, usually when there's truth to things or people don't understand it or it scares them, they will tend to put a fear label with it. They call it a cult, or they call it, but there was nothing there that was like a cult type activity or anything like that. We weren't told to dance in circles, or we weren't told. Everything we went to was voluntary. If we wanted to learn something, he actually decided, since it wasn't a conference, to go ahead and teach some exercise classes for people like me, who I can't do yoga or things like that, but they were some exercises classes that gets your blood flowing and makes your body feel much better and relaxes you while standing up. And so I didn't have to get on a yoga mat and get in all these weird poses and stuff because of, I broke my back and my neck in that last accident. So that's just not possible for me. But he didn't have to do that. He volunteered to do that because the group that was there, that all came out, just to meet each other, put off, he said, such good love energy that, he went ahead and did a few things, for us. And I also witnessed, as an observer, something called table tipping. And, we went in with no idea what that was. But apparently that is, kind of like how the Jewish people used to cast lots, or, with their form of divination to pick dates and times, and they would go and see a prophet or prophetess to see if they were going to win a war, or, these different things, which are forms of divination. But we kind of get biased to what we consider acceptable and unacceptable. Well, when we went to this table tipping thing, my husband took a couple pictures, and the pictures that we got, the anomalies that showed up in these photos, we can't argue them. I mean, we can't. I felt something going on. I was annoying my husband because I kept turning around because I felt like something was walking behind me. And I know we were on the outer row as an observer with no expectations. We just wanted to come and check it out. That table would stop at these odd angles, and they just had their hands rested on the top of it. There was no strain on the lady's arms when this table was tipped up at such an odd angle that if it was being held by her, her muscles would be flexed. But her hands were just resting on there. It was amazing. This place, I think we're in a time where the truth is coming out. We're going to find out everything that has been hidden from us is going to be revealed, and nothing to fear, nothing to fear. So, yeah, when you were showing that, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like something that we saw up at ECETI. But they do look like, I don't mean to go on and on and on, but they almost look translucent, solid but translucent. And like I said, the one that split to 2 and then it split to 3 and then it went back together again and then it did it again because we were like, that didn't just happen. That's a figment of our, of our imagination. Well, it did it again. And, my husband was just loving it, just absolutely loving it. And the mountain where the lights started to flicker halfway up Mount Hood is an entryway and exit way. And he's, it's his ranch. He's been there for a long time. And his ranch is about as close as you can get. And we were quite a distance away from that mountain to get a good view of what's going on, with what's going on with that mountain. And on our way home, when we were going through Colorado during the daytime, we saw 2 white ones and 1 black one that appeared to us. And that was down by Mount Shasta. And we later found out that they too have an area that's kind of hidden away, but these things are coming to light. So, the best thing for anyone to do, I want everyone to be a skeptic and go yourself. You're not held captive there. If you don't like it, leave. No one's holding you there. You have the freedom to come and go as you please. Eat whatever you want. They don't sit there and say be a vegetarian or vegan or it's not like that. It's a nice ranch, and it was a nice, relaxing camping trip where we got to meet a lot of people that I've met online that now we're closer now because we've met in person.
Well, that's awesome. I wanted to ask you, were you allowed to video yourself, take your own videos?
Oh yeah, my pictures are my pictures. The picture that I put one of them up, and I actually sent it in to be analyzed. It's the one that says 5D photo being analyzed. Excuse me, and that's up on my page right now because it's not that it was hard to see what was going on, and he explained, he authenticated the photo, and they were all taken on my husband's phone because my phone is like, it's like melting apart. It's falling apart. So, and that was when I was turning around a lot because I felt like something was like walking behind us. But one of the first things that he did was cleared the room of anything negative or malevolent. It could not be in there. Now, what people bring in is a whole different ball of wax. If they don't want to get rid of it and it gets, like evicted, then they're going to just ask it right back anyways with friends, and it can make things worse. Like evicted. Then... Oops, I'm sorry. There, I accidentally turned the the YouTube volume on. But that's that's the picture that is shown now, and and that's one of the easy ones to see. What I had over my head would look like a pink orb over my head, but then there was a bigger orb-like thing all around my entire body. It was amazing. And on the top part of my body, you could see that I'm in the chair, but the bottom part, I'm not in the chair, but the chair's still there. So you can see where I'm supposed to be sitting there, and you can see the outline of the chair, but I'm not in the chair. Is that weird? It was really weird. I mean, so of course I wanted that authenticated, but it was just taken on a cell phone, and yeah, he encourages people to record their own, you know, I mean, it's you're paying, you're camping, it's your trip to spend the time how you desire to. And if you can capture footage, now if it's really good footage, he may ask you to send him a copy of the picture. But otherwise, you know, it's yours. It's yours. You know, it's yours to keep.
Well, I'm glad you called in to share that with you. I posted your link to your channel in the chat room for anybody who wants to, who isn't already liked and subscribed to your channel, so that they can go there and do that.
Yeah, it's called 5D photo analysis. And that's the one that I actually made Rainbow Room with. Well, he made Rainbow Room with, because he wanted to continue to work with the photo after he, you know, authenticated it. He brought out the different colors, which he explained that when we're taking a photo, it takes 3D and crams it into a 2D. But then when you have an anomaly like this happen, there's actually more being shown there. So then he was able to pull out, I think, 5 to 7 different levels. And you can see the different images and structures that were appearing in the photo by the different cooling of color, not changing the picture, just by, he washed all the color, because it's a very colorful photo. He washed all the color out of the photo so he could get the basics, and then washed it out with a different color to remove that color from it so he could see that level. It's pretty interesting, and there's a lot in there, and it's just, you know, yeah, and it was surprising. It was very surprising. I have another one I haven't shared with anybody, but it has a bunch of different, like, it looks like animals, but they look humanoid, like feline looking beings. And there's people, it looks like people are in there, but I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an alien buff. I have no idea what an Orion being looks like. But part of when he was doing that table tipping,
what is table tipping? Explain that. I'm not familiar with that terminology.
I wasn't either, so don't feel bad. That's why we were so curious and went ahead and checked it out. It is a form of divination that is akin to casting lots, or the Israelites going to a prophet, or somebody that's connected to find out if they would be victorious in a war, or things of that nature. So it's, and he said that it's actually older than the Egyptian time. So they've been doing this longer than, you know, casting lots to pick the dates and things like that. I don't know if, I'm sure that Ron knows that in the book of Esther, they cast lots about the war and stuff, that they were going to take everything from the Jewish people and try to eliminate them from the population. And then they were able to overcome that by Esther being in the kingdom. And, you know, the king allowed the Jewish people to fight back. So, but that was done through divination or casting lots. So it's something that's been a part of our heritage for a very long time. So, and I've never heard of it myself. The only thing that I can, you know, even come close to thinking is when we were little girls and we would have sleepovers, and there would be, you know, 4 or 5 of us having a little slumber party over at one of our girlfriend's house when we were young, where you put your 2 fingers under the one girl lays down, and then you say she's light as a feather, stiff as a board, or whatever, and then she levitates. Well, that never worked for me or anything, but that is kind of how I would explain this, because the way they rested their hands on the table, it's a wooden table, and they just rest their palm side down, on the top of the table very comfortably. And the table, and they have to be in complete balance, male, female, one on each end. And the table begins to rock back and forth, going up onto two legs and then onto two legs. And then it will stop in these odd positions, and, it will count. Like in the very beginning, when he cleared the room, the table rocked a certain amount of times, and he was counting how many times it rocked, so he knew how many presences that were like unwelcoming presences that needed to be evicted from the space to keep the space.
That right there, what you've described just so far, I'm already kind of freaked out. Like, I'm the guy in the horror movie that's the first to leave, and that right there, just watching some table move and rock, to identify beings.
Look at it from a skeptic's point of view. Now, I'm being skeptical because when the table's stopping and it's like at this weird angle, I'm looking. That's why I can tell you that her arms weren't flexed with muscles, because I was looking for, is she pushing down on the table to hold it at that odd angle? Do you see what I'm saying? We were observers there.
Yeah, and I love the skeptic side that you're putting on it, and I love the fact that you're keeping it kind of balanced in your description, and it sounds very interesting. I had never heard of that before. So go ahead, and the table starts to move. So explain that further.
That's where that photo came from, is from that session, and we were sitting on that outer. You see, people were sitting in a circle, but so many people showed up at it that, the circle ended up being more like a spiral because of people, were adding to it. And we were on the outer edge of this circle by the sliding glass doors. So I have a picture of the room, of what it looks like normally. And even the whole room had a pink hue, which people have said that's from the House of Mary. It's love. Pink is love from the heart. So, we were safe, and there was no discomfort. Actually, if anything, we felt peaceful. It's just I was disturbing my husband because I'm sitting right next to him, and I kept turning around saying, honey, can't you feel them walking behind us? What is that? I hear something. What's going on? And so he finally just said, all right, fine, and snapped some photos of it. And that's what we captured. And, it's almost a blessing to be able to capture it. One part of the photo looks like wings, and it's up towards the ceiling, and it looks like angel wings. It's so cool. So if I didn't have the picture, if I wasn't there myself, I wouldn't believe it. That's why I say it's not like it's not like a haunted house. There's nothing there to fear. It's actually a very peaceful place. There's no scariness to it, but a lot of skeptics do come there, and then because they've been trying to discredit him for a while, and that goes with the territory. I mean, look what.
Well, yeah, you gotta live up to the scrutiny, and apparently, I mean, you were there. I mean, you saw with your own eyes, and you were, I guess, from what I'm picking up, at least semi-convinced that there's some truth to it, right?
Yes. And it was, my daughter passed away, and we looked at it as we're going on a camping trip, and we really didn't even understand what he said he was, besides a ranch that we were going to go camping. And then when we looked it up, it was like, oh, honey, you may get to see some UFOs, and he's like, woo, So we didn't expect the spiritual side, but it was not a bad spiritual side. It was like heart expansion, warmth, joy, peace, patience. Just it wasn't like anything scary or anything. I was just annoying him because I kept feeling something walking behind. But how he explained it is when the session starts, there's vortexes, and I guess there's vortexes all over the world. But as this session starts, we start to spin. And I did get a photo of that where, we're taking a picture straight across and everybody's faces are blurred. And I did ask him, I'm like, what's the deal with this? And he said, well, that's because we're spinning. So the camera couldn't discern, and focus in on it. But when Shane did his show, he did a pre-recorded show in that very same room. The walls are orange. Everybody's faces are clear. So, there was definitely something interesting going on. And he did his show about an hour before James said, I'll go ahead and do this demonstration for anybody who's interested and wants to come check it out. We weren't forced or anything. We were curious, so we went. And, the whole atmosphere of the room changed. It was amazing. I mean, you can only do it. You can only find out by going yourself. And you have every right. It's so inexpensive that it would not be that big of a deal if you got uncomfortable or thought that it was a bunch of hogwash or you didn't feel like camping. You could just use it as a camping experience for that matter, just enjoy being in the outdoors next to a river and walking up to plum trees and apple trees and just pulling them straight off the tree and eating them. And it's just a beautiful place. Deers walk right up to you. There's chickens, there's bunnies, there's all kinds of stuff. It's like, I don't know, it's beautiful. So go there yourself and check it out. That's what I would recommend because, I'm one of those. I'm a show me girl. I want to see it. So, yeah. But that's what
I'm the same. I'm the same way. I mean, as much as you did a great job of explaining, and you really did, you're very eloquent in the way you described it and the details you've included. I still would need to actually go and see it for myself in order to have, that own confirmation. But you definitely have intrigued my interest, and it is something that I would like to maybe eventually do. And it is cool that he has made it open. And he didn't charge you an entry fee or anything like that?
Now, if you want to come in just for the day, there's a $10 fee to come in. Now we got to realize that he's got to maintain that place and the water and all, it's an expense for him. The bathrooms are very nice. There's nice showers and everything in them. It's like camping. And when you go onto any campsite, you're going to pay a fee. You can't just, unless you're just going off in the wilderness, but then you don't have any creature comforts at all. But there's showers there. There's restrooms with plumbing, and there's some niceties there. Plus, like I said, you can have hot breakfast. There's free coffee that comes along with. So in the morning, you can go over and get yourself some coffee. They have a coffee stand, coffee and tea out pretty much most of the day. And anytime it gets emptied and they see somebody wanting coffee, they run right over and make a fresh pot for you. They're just really kind. Breakfast costs a little bit to add onto your camping trip, but you're getting a full meal and you're not having to cook it, because it is camping. I mean, there's no electricity.
So, I mean, what is the cost? What does it actually come out to overall to do something similar to what you did?
It is $35 a night. $35 a night for the two of us. But we rented one of their tents. We didn't bring our own tent. And inside the tent was, it said it had an air mattress, right? Well, we figured it would be one of those ones that's like thrown on the ground, but no, it's like, you walk up to it and you sit right down on it. It was very high off the ground. It had sheets and blankets and pillows. They furnished us with bathing towels. There was a table. There's a lamp in there. There was a lot inside and a couple of chairs inside the tent. It's a pretty good sized tent. So we rented one of their tents and then just brought our food supplies and stuff with us. And we just brought a little mini generator because there was a burn ban. And so you can just have your hot plate or just get one of those portable stovetop little cookers that runs off of propane, which is a lot easier than carrying a generator. But, we just took what we had and I just needed some time away and to take a break and just, kind of clear my head. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful trip. We met wonderful people and we got some pretty amazing pictures. It was definitely more than what I would have ever thought. All
right, so I got one last question for you. Now that you've been there, you saw that, and you went in as a skeptic, and going in, you really didn't. I know you really weren't, into UFOlogy, so to speak. If your opinion has changed, how so, and how much?
Well, I look at it this way, Saj, is I think everything's connected. I think that when we're looking at, when we talk about in scripture, the angels, they were created first. What if we were to find out that the angels were what we now call the aliens because of the different faces? And I think I asked Ron a while back about the different faces because in one of the pictures that I got, there's a being in there and then it's facing one way and it looks like a man and then another way and it looks like it has like a lion face and then another direction it has a different face. And so I think I did ask you about that, Ron. It was a few months ago, but and then you brought up Ezekiel's wheel to me. So we tend to separate because we try to overthink things. But what if we're to find out that what we're calling aliens are actually angels? So that doesn't mean that they're all good. So that's where we need our discernment. So it just means that what we're thinking of as an alien is possibly an angel and how spirituality and their manifestation is all connected. And the times that we're living in now, the war in heaven, well, that kind of makes sense. If there's bad ones and good ones, just think about the human race. Not everyone in the human race is the kindest person in the world. You're right? I mean, we can't judge all of mankind off of one person's bad actions. There's some really sweet people, and then there can be some really mean people because it's all about sovereignty and freedom of choice. Everything.
Would you say the overall feeling at that particular, in that particular experience, was more benevolent than malevolent?
Oh, totally. The grounds were benevolent. The people that helped run the ranch and cooked the breakfast and helped us, get our things to the tent and showed us our tent, and all of them were absolutely wonderful. There was just one lady there that came along and she's from YouTube, and she just didn't like me, and I could feel that. I could feel that intention coming from her, but that had nothing to do with the location. That had nothing to do with any of that. Just that's kind of why I'm saying, even with mankind, we can't judge everybody. Just like you can't judge them by skin color or, any of that. There's good and bad, and it's a choice. Are we going to?
And I want to kind of put a perspective on what what you saw and how you were feeling at that time. Now imagine you're the Iranian military, and you're used to bombs coming and flying all over you all the time, and you're having to shoot things out of the air, and all of a sudden some object similar to what you saw there, or like the one in the video, shows up, and everybody just starts shooting. I mean, I'm kind of.
They're up there destroying all the weapons before they hit the ground, so that the people are safe.
Yeah, and that it's kind of funny how if you're in a ranch environment, it's kind of like a spiritual experience, but if you're in a war zone, all of a sudden people are freaking out.
But a war zone can be a spiritual experience too. There's nobody in a foxhole that doesn't believe in God. You
got a point there. That's a very good point. I overlooked that detail. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up, unless there's something else you really wanted to make sure you had.
No, I just wanted to share what I saw in the share that you guys had, and
let's see what Armor or Hebrew might have a question for you.
Go there yourself. That's if it was me, that's what I would do. Don't take my word for it. Do it yourself. Go yourself. And have
either one of you guys want to chime in here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talk to me, Ron. Don't ignore me.
No, I got lots to say. I was just being polite and waiting till the opportunity.
You got lots to say?
Oh yeah.
You're going to have to speak up, though, because I can barely hear you.
Oh, that's strange. Should be working good.
Yeah, it's just your sound isn't coming through as good on my phone as Chad.
Oh, okay. Well, as you said, let me start off this way. And as we said earlier in the chat, I noticed a couple people said it when we were showing that video, that we do a lot of times jump to, if it's supernatural, it's bad. I agree 100%. We automatically think demon or enemy related, or if it's something supernatural, it's bad. And as it was said earlier in the chat, we forget that 2/3 of the angels are still good guys. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying whether what you've seen or felt was bad or good, because I wasn't there and I don't know. What I will say, though, is that the only thing that bothers me is, because, I try to agree with what Jesus said and do it as best I can. And he tells us not to seek out the spirits, good or bad. So to seek them out is sort of taking a chance of asking for trouble in my book, because Jesus warned us not to do it. So I believe there's good and bad spirits or aliens or whatever we want to call them. I don't believe every alien is bad that we might see. It could be a good one. There's a 2/3 chance that it's good, a 1/3 chance that it's bad, especially if it's not doing anything. But we got to remember, Lucifer loves giving the feeling of love. Lucifer will heal a baby if he can trap a soul. Lucifer will cure cancer if he can trap a whole family into worshiping him. Just because something feels good doesn't mean it is good, is basically what I'm saying. So like you said, you definitely need your discernment up and, trust yourself, because a spiritual experience, like I've said many times, we all have our own journey. So I can't judge what happened or what you felt or what any of that, because first of all, I'm not supposed to judge anything. But I would just say, as a warning, we're not supposed to seek out the spirits, good or bad. We're only supposed to seek out the Father. And if we seek them out, we're opening up a door for a bad spirit masquerading as a good spirit to come in, because they definitely do it. And I'm talking from experience. I mean, as growing up, we had Ouija boards. We played. I mean, I used to be able to make our Ouija thing, whatever you call that thing that moves around, to play, whatever it's called. I used to be able to make it fly around. It used to fly through our house.
Ooh.
It used to play the organ, but it was not good. It was far from good. It was about as opposite as good as it could be. It ended up wanting to kill my mongoloid brother in the womb and saying he hated it and he was going to kill that baby. And so it was not a good spirit, although it started out good. So that's what I'm saying. Just, I don't doubt that there's good angels all around us, just like there's bad fallen angels all around us. But the point is,
and I'm wondering if that's what that bubble was that was around me. There's a hedge of protection, but you know, my armor of God, or you know, we think that the armor is like military armor, but what if it's just this protective field that we've been sealed, you know, and so that field is around us and protecting us. So just something to think about. And yeah, definitely, you know, have your discernment on, of course, high alert, and discern everything you see. That's why I say, you know, that even when we look at people, not everybody has the best of intentions for other people. You know, I mean, we have to be able to discern. And the thing, you know, that was interesting is the lady that I got those feelings from, that, you know, I just felt she just did not like me. Well, she told me she didn't like me, and she yelled at me in front of a bunch of people, and everybody else was all so loving and kind and just, you know, hugging each other and so happy that we all got to meet each other in person. But she actually yelled at me and just said some pretty nasty things in front of other people. So, you know, if she's supposed to be about unconditional love and forgiveness, she showed her true colors in front of a bunch of people where I didn't even do anything to her. You know, I was like, whoa. So yeah, that was discernment right there, that I could feel that from her. And I don't even, to this day, I don't know what I could have possibly done to this woman to cause her to hate me. I didn't steal from her. I didn't take her husband. I didn't, you know, I didn't do any of the normal things that would cause a woman to hate, like a woman scorn, you know. But this lady just does not like me, you know, and people were shocked. And my husband got upset watching her treat me that way. So we did leave a night earlier. We were going to leave by noon the next day, but we went ahead and skedoodled after that because, you know, after after losing Shannon and everything I've been going through, I didn't need that. That was uncalled for. So, but I had that feeling from her, you know, that discernment, that feeling that there was something, and there could be something else going on in there. But unless people want to be free of it, all that's going to happen is you can set them free of it, and then it's going to come back with buddies, and it'll be worse. You know, so that's why people have to want it. That's why we're to seek and to knock and to, you know, that's why. If you don't want it, then you're not going to look for it. And if somebody imposes their will on you and gets rid of it out of you, and you don't want that, you know, you're going to have a team of them, and then it could hurt her. It could put her in harm's way more, you know. And I think about, do they know how much harm they're actually doing to themselves by having these negative things, attachments in them? Just like what you were saying, the flying Ouija board sounded nice in the beginning, but then was wanting you to kill your unborn son, or what was it? I mean, it ended up being a very evil and wicked situation there.
It would fly in my mother's belly when she was pregnant with my unborn brother, who turned out to be
Oh my
Down
God.
syndrome. And it would
That's
say it wanted
awful.
to kill him, man.
That's awful. So, these things harm the person. So it's hard to understand why they would want that, and why you wouldn't want to be purged of that and rid of it. But that's not our choice. We just, they have to want it. They have to be seeking it. But my suggestion is to go and check it out and use discernment always with everything. And we had never heard of it before. So I'm kind of ignorant to that kind of stuff. So we, out of curiosity, went and checked it out and got some pretty amazing pictures. It was pretty nice. But there wasn't any fear or anything like that. I didn't feel anything negative. But like I said, right in the beginning, though, apparently there was negative energies or entities or whatever, because he had to clear it. Counted 25. I remember. Is that right, honey? Was it 25? Huh? Something like that. That's what I thought. So, yeah. I mean, it's not something that I want anybody to take my word for. Be a guest on his ranch and go check it out. You can go in during the day for $10 a day, and but you don't get the sky watch, because pretty much the day pass people are supposed to leave, I think, by 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. And so, you really wouldn't get much nighttime, depending on the season, if you have to leave by that hour. So, and it's not that expensive just to stay right there on the site.
And like I said, to each his own, and I don't judge anyone for what they do, but for me to be involved in something like the table tipping or something like that just goes against what Jesus taught, in my opinion. So I couldn't do something like that. But, and again,
I'm not coming home and table tipping, if that's what you're asking.
Well, yeah,
it was just something we observed.
Yeah, well, I know what you're saying. And like I said, it's totally cool with me. It don't matter to me what people do. I'm not a judge. I'm just saying personally, I wouldn't have went there, but hey.
Well, no, you had an experience that would, push me away from anything, even the curiosity of it. But I looked at it as a campground. When we went there, it was a campground. That's what it's set up to be. You rent your cabin or your tent, or it's a campground.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We can seek the Father at anywhere. I go to the woods and seek him all the time around me. So we don't need to go somewhere that sounds, obviously, to me, it sounds like it's what I would call a thin spot. They're referred to as thin spots sometimes. And that's why the energy is so magnified. If you come in thinking love, then be it a good or bad spirit, I don't know if it is a good or bad spirit. I don't know. I wasn't there, but whichever it is, it's going to show love, because it's giving back what it's getting, but it's still feeding. And then the minute a little bit of hate came in, it was magnified immensely because it's such a thin spot. So, but yeah,
right.
Just because it
that could have been why
she
went off the way that she did, because anything that's going on within. Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Thank you. That's kind of how I was thinking about it, that anything that's going on within you is because of a thin spot is magnified. So, because who would do that? I mean, if you want to be an online personality and trying to show love and light and, tell people about shifts and things like that, but then that's what comes out of you, that's going to turn people away. It's going to do the opposite. So something's going on there, but, it's not my deal. That's hers. And we just packed up and left. and headed on home. But I'll tell you what, the drive through Colorado is absolutely beautiful. That's the first time I've ever seen the forest through the trees. That's a joke, but it's a true joke because the forest went all the way up the side of the mountain. So we were actually able to see all these huge trees going all the way up the side of the mountain. So we were actually able to see the forest through the trees. Get it?
I got it. I thought it was great.
There's a lot of beautiful areas. I like mountains. I've always been, mountains, and I love beaches, and there's a lot of beauty here. We just have to take the time to, slow our lives down enough to appreciate the small things, because they're not small; they're huge. They're absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to go see that part of the country. I couldn't be any further away though, in St. Petersburg, Florida. I mean, that's about as far away from there as you can get and still be in the United States.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, it's close to Canada, really. I mean, it's pretty far up there north. We actually got there a lot quicker than what we thought. I thought, it's going to be it's 900 miles. So it was a 2-day drive, but on our way home, we left and my husband wasn't feeling very good after what happened with the getting yelled at and all that stuff. And he got upset. So we left and we got 178 miles and we stopped, but he felt so much better the next day that we drove the rest of the way and got home. So, but it was a nice break. It was nice to be out in nature. It was nice to see deers walking up to us. It was nice to be, around fruit trees. It smelled good. It's just a nice place. It's a nice campground. So, and that's how we approached it, along with the benefit of meeting a bunch of people that, were just avatars to us online. So, and that made it even that much nicer.
Well, I want to thank
you had a ton to say. Is that it? Are you done?
Yeah. No, I wanted to thank you for calling and sharing the experience. You did a great job, and I am glad you called. I'm sure you've enhanced our show, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm sure. Do you have anybody on hold?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are you using Uber? Looks like you're using Uber, which is smart, because then you can have people on hold and they can still hear the show. Yeah. I love that
Anyone on hold, Armor?
No, there ain't no other callers waiting. The lines are open though. Does he still have the number up?
Yes.
Don't get my phone number away.
Oh no, we mean our call-in number.
No, I can give yours away because yours is on Uber Conference, but this is my actual home number. So
no, I wouldn't do that.
I know you wouldn't. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you guys, and if you weren't showing the alien craft, and if it, first thing I was thinking when I was watching it is they're going to shoot each other. That's what I was thinking. They're crossfiring.
We got to remember that's anti-aircraft fire. That's coming from the ground and going up into the air thousands of feet, 500,000 of feet. So there's no chance of each other.
Okay, so that's not like planes in the sky shooting.
No, that's ground shooting.
Thank you. That makes me feel better. No wonder they weren't shooting each other down.
I was thinking of the Ghostbusters when they say don't cross the streams when you said that, but that's
don't talk to what?
Don't cross the streams. Remember, like they in the Ghostbusters movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Don't cross the streams. I gotcha. Yes. Yeah. When they were trying to, capture their ghosts, with their little plasma weapons and put them in those boxes. I like that movie. It was cute. Well, you guys have a wonderful night. It's been a while since I called in on Hebrews
Yeah, it
shows.
was good for you to call
Good
in.
to know
Good
that
to hear you again.
even though I'm not typing, it doesn't mean I'm not listening.
That's good to know. Thank you. And we appreciate your support. You always shout us out, and we'll try to do the same for you.
Well, thank you very much, and have you guys a wonderful night. And I'm going to go back into the chat and listen.
All right.
Somebody else call in. These guys are awesome.
Thanks, Michelle.
Hey, there's Susu. Susu. Sorry, Suso. Suso's in the chat. He's always wonderful to hear from. Okay, have a good night. Peace.
Night,
Bye-bye.
Michelle.
Well, until the phone rings, do you have something you want to add to that, Hebrew?
Well, I just want to say I haven't heard from Michelle in a while, and I didn't even realize that she had changed her name. I guess I've been hiding in the cave for a while. I need to start watching some of her videos. I've been so busy, I haven't had time to catch up. Well, not as busy as you, Armor Up. I hear you're behind by about 15 weeks.
He's still watching videos from 2018, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Almost.
No, I was just going to say a long time ago when Dan was on here, I don't know when he left. I think he left, about an hour ago or so?
No, I don't think it was that long.
Oh, wasn't it? I thought, well, never mind. Anyway, he said he was going to go work out. I was going to say, you better work out your gluteus maximus so those aliens don't get to probe you. You know, you got to do those exercises to keep the aliens from probing you. You know that, right? Just saying. Well, he's the one. He's the one that brought it up, so I thought I'd just expand on it. He always gets me in trouble when.
You know, that would be a great ad for a workout. You see, I can see the infomercial now. You know, avoid alien probing. Come get our workout special. We focus on your gluteus maximus.
Yeah, but that's all I had to say about that. But that was a great call, though. On a serious note, I wanted to add it. I kind of said something similar to what you were talking about when you were talking about the Ouija board and how it opens up doorways that lets in demons and stuff like that and has them do bad stuff. I was talking about that on Thursday. I covered it a little bit. I didn't quite have experiences like you had, but I know that a lot of people do. And I talked about that, about how people, you know, they think that's how demons get in. That's how they. I think I was talking about the three phases of demon possession, but you can catch that on the Thirsty Thursday video. Go back and watch it. I'm talking about, you know, anybody, not you or anybody particular, but like but I was talking about how when I was young I used to make my own Ouija boards, and you could do that just with a piece of paper or whatever, but it doesn't matter how it's done. It's still just bad stuff, and I wouldn't recommend anybody doing it or messing with it. And what's really messed up about it is that stuff is marketed towards kids. It's marketed as a kids game, and that's kind of messed up, because as you know, is we all well know that kids are the most vulnerable of all of you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I know what
more.
you're saying. I'll admit, I remember being about 14, 15 years old. I wasn't old enough to drive yet, but I was a full-fledged teenager. And we would go to the flea market every Sunday. And one time at the flea market, I came across a Ouija board made by, I forget the toy company name, but it's Parker Brothers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's Parker Brothers.
Yeah, I think it was them, and it was very authentic. It had all the old italic, print. It was a solid piece of like a wood board. It had the little triangle with the clear thing in the center, that for it to go over the letters, and they
Mm-hmm.
wanted like $10 or $12 for it. It wasn't that expensive, and I asked my dad to buy it for me, and he wouldn't. He absolutely refused. He said, "You don't need anything like that." He grew up going to church, even though he really wasn't active. He knew that was bad EBTV, and he didn't want me to have it. And then I remember, I don't know, it was 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, I got to go to the flea market. I got to ride with one of my friends who was driving. And on the way there, I remembered I wanted that Ouija board. And
Mm.
so I went and I looked for it and I found it and I bought it with my own money, unbeknownst to my dad. And we got it that day, and we took it back, and we started playing with it. Everybody put their fingers on it, and we started asking it questions. And it slowly would move to one letter to the next or whatever. And somebody was sitting there trying to write down the letters that it stopped on to figure out what the message was. And I swore I wasn't pushing it. And I remember yelling at the person across from me, that had their fingers on it too. I know you're pushing it, and they're swearing, I know you pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back on it and reflecting and thinking about it, I don't know that I was pushing it per se on purpose or deliberately trying to make it move. But when you first put your fingers on it and nothing happens, I think subconsciously you kind of do urge it along because you want something to happen. You're trying. You don't want to just sit there for a half hour waiting for it to move itself when you realize it isn't going to. And so I think that there's somewhere in the middle is the truth. Maybe it was moving itself a little bit, but we never really experienced any paranormal activity. I got bored with it within a couple of times playing with it, and I don't know what's happened to it. The guy ended up
I
getting
guess.
thrown away or whatever. But I do remember it being a really big deal when I first bought it. But I wouldn't. Based on the experience I had, I don't think I would want to ever mess with one again. Just, and what I've learned since.
Well, I'll tell you, yeah, it's something you definitely don't want to mess with, and one of the things that's how demons get through the people. That's how they like to attack when you're at your weakest. They like to attack when you're at your most vulnerable, and that's why I mentioned that this item that's marketed to kids. And I honestly believe that the that not Satan himself, but maybe like his minions or whatever are probably responsible for. And I know this is going to sound a little bit silly, but kind of responsible for Parker Brothers getting that idea, putting it in their head. Well, I know Parker Brothers took the idea from an actual like witchcraft type. Um, oh, what am I looking for? What am I looking for here? But they took it from something that already existed, which was from ancient witchcraft type things, or from satanic, um, occultic stuff that they used to use that to talk to spirits and whatnot. I don't know, but what are your experience? You've already mentioned your experience with the Ouija board there, or Armor Up. What is your feelings on it, or maybe you have suggestions about how not to avoid this thing, or maybe you have a little bit of insight into it as maybe.
Don't get one and stay away from them. That's my insight.
Well, no, I just wanted to ask him, how he, because I know he had a little bit of experience with the occult or something like that.
Well, I had years of experience with the Ouija board. That's why we got so good at it. You can make it fly and do all kinds of things. Yeah, and dabbling in the occult, of course. Talked about that before. But yeah, like Sadie said, I mean, don't mess with them. And that's what I was saying about when Michelle called in. And again, I'm not saying the place is good, evil, neutral, whatever. I don't know. But the point is, just like that Ouija board, places like that are a natural portal. They don't need the board. You see what I'm saying? They're so they're places that's why we're told not to seek them out, basically, because they're very dangerous, whether they're meant to be or not. I mean, the Ouija board wasn't meant to be dangerous. I'm sure Parker's brother, of course, who knows? But in the same way, it starts out fun and it would tell you like future stuff, and it would, it was sort of cool. It would answer questions, and it'd be right all the time. But yeah, it ended up being horrible, and getting rid of it was no picnic. Believe me. I mean, like I said, we messed with that thing for years. That little bit I told ain't even a tip of the iceberg of the Ouija board experiences. And getting rid of it was, I mean, if I even told you guys what all happened, it sounds like a movie. Should be a movie.
You should write a book about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, either way, Ouija board's definitely no good. And anything like that is no good. That's my point. Searching out anything like that, be it through a Ouija board or a thin place or a, a ceremony or anything like that, that's you're asking for trouble. The one that's going to show up 90% of the time, in my opinion, just from my experience as an ex-occultist and person that messed with the Ouija board for a long time. And I was definitely the one who was in tune with the board. There was no doubt about that. No one else could make it fly. No one else could do what I could do when I put my hands on it. And I could do it by myself after a while. So the point is that it's asking for trouble. The wrong ones are going to show up. I don't care how good they make you feel at first, or how many things they fulfill in your life to make it look like you're on the right path. I don't even know how to say it, but believe me, it's probably not the good guys. If you're seeking them out, see, the angels are the Father's messengers.
Mm-hmm.
If they come to us, they're going to come to us. We ain't going to seek them out. If he gives them a message to come to us, they're going to come. Are we going to be smart enough to recognize it? Who knows? That's a whole different ballgame. Are we going to realize that homeless guy might have a message for us, or that lady that smells funny behind us in line might be there for a reason? Or are we just going to move along and avoid them as much as possible? I'm not saying angels, the good angels aren't real, but I'm saying when they show up, it's because Father sent them. We don't seek them out. That's not the way it works. They're not our messengers. They're Father's messengers. They move by what he says. We can seek them out all we want. They ain't going to answer, because they don't answer to us. They answer to him. The only ones that will pretend to answer to us are the bad ones, from my experience. Again, I'm not judging anyone or anything. You just asked my opinion, so I'll give you my opinion on this stuff. From my experience, I never have had a good angel answer me when I searched the spirits out, whether I was doing it for the bad guy or thought I was doing it as what we call, quote unquote, white type magic, which is how they always lure you in. Of course, you practice white magic first before you get sucked into the dark magic and realize it's all dark magic anyway. There's no such thing as white magic.
Yeah.
And another thing worth noting is, like Carmer was saying, even the American Indians that were here, long before us, and we started this whole UFO science fiction take on these energies and spiritual experiences that you have at these landmark sites, like Sedona, Arizona, and the other one that she mentioned. They often worshipped in those and near those areas, but would never live or build their. They would travel there to go pay homage and then come back home to their village that was, within a day's traveling distance from those places. And they would go there and they would draw the petroglyphs and stuff like that on the beside the caves and the things. And then they did not want to give up certain, even to this day, there's certain sites and certain pieces of land the American Indians try to contest their holy land or their special land, and then we come and we build a military base on it. I mean, it really is kind of messed up if you really look at the big picture of things.
About it. And if you think about it, these UFOs and stuff like that we talk about, you think about like you do you remember it was weeks ago and it might have been months ago, we did a show and we actually talked about UFOs, and I think it might have been Shifty Sunday. I'm not too sure. It might have been one of those off-brand Saturday shows that we did, but we showed the picture of aliens. It might have been a Saturday show, and I think Jess might have been on with us at that time, and we were showing the picture of the alien spacecraft, or the supposed alien spacecraft that was depicted, and I think it was Michelangelo's painting of what was that, Mother Mary?
I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, where it was that old painting and it looked like this guy was looking at a UFO or something, or an angel or something in the sky. I know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So, I forget what the painting was, though. I couldn't tell you if you paid me $1 million.
I can't remember. It was the one where she's holding Jesus or something, baby Jesus.
Yeah, it's something like that. But I'm
Madonna. Ain't that one called the Madonna?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is. It was the Madonna. You were on here with us, weren't you?
I don't remember
that. Remember, we were zooming in on the painting and seeing weird.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember if I was on that shit.
I think Jess was on there. Jesse.
I always thought Armor was with us at the same time as Jess.
Yeah, but I do remember. But it's kind of like, UFOs. There have been UFO sightings since the beginning of time, basically. I mean, when you think about it, you look at all these. I don't know if you've seen videos, Ancient Aliens. You ever watch that show where they show like?
Oh yeah. I agree with you. I just think that we've kind of put a science fiction spin on it, so to speak. Where it depends on how you perceive it, your perception. If you're watching a lot of Star Trek and Star Wars and Buck Rogers, you're going to think Nanu Nanu when you look at it. But if you're growing up in an Indian village, you're not going to have any of those kind of images in your head when you see the same thing in the sky.
Well, you just look at the walls and some of the caves, some of the really, really old caves. You look at some of the paintings that they show, and you see.
Yeah, their depiction is very similar to some of the depictions that we have. That's very true. But they didn't see it it seems like they had a more of a spiritual connection with the things than what we really seem to have. That's what I'm getting.
And Michelle reminded me of something else I did on Thirsty Thursday as well. As it was either Michelle or Armor Up was just talking. I forget which one of you guys was talking, but you said something about coming in many forms. Like you were talking about, like an angel could be that smelly lady in line, or it could be like some bum on the street begging for change, or and the devil or Satan or one of his minions or whatever you want to call him could be your next door neighbor, or it could be the guy that owes you $10 down the street, or it could be a preacher. It could be someone that acts very, very kind and gentle and nice. And well, it's just like that old thing, don't trust
the spirit that shows up and makes you feel all lovey and good.
Yeah, that's basically what the point I was trying to get across when I did that.
I think it's that guy that tried to sell me that 2017 Dodge Charger. I knew there was something about that guy.
But I was finished before I was going with that anyway, so.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just thought it would be funny to say that.
But it's just like
We don't have any more callers? No, the phone isn't ringing? Suso's not calling in, huh?
No calls.
All right.
I'd say it's been a pretty good show.
Yeah. I'd say we'll go ahead and close her down, don't you?
Yep, give him one last shout out there, Mr. Armor Up.
All right. Let me get over here. We got Oiler Greg, Robin Keneally with a wrench, Awake and Activate with a wrench, Data Junkie, Zombie Cat Club, Chuck OR with a wrench, Third Party. See who else we got. Who we missing? Well, they're the only ones that's been talking in a while. Suso, of course, was here. Always good to see the Suso in the house. Dan was here, of course, earlier. Abba's girl. How could I forget Abba's girl? She went to sleep on us, but shout out to her either way. Red Shirt Blues. Naikas. She's been here lurking in the background. She did say hi earlier. It's good to see her still hanging with us to the end. I believe that's everybody. If I missed you, hey, you should have talked in chat. Then I'd have seen you.
I want to see.
Blessings, everyone.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there at the end, but Ola Greg says he wants to see Rambo. I want to see Rambo too, man. Maybe we should go together. But no, seriously though, it's been a good show, you know. We got a lot of topics out of the way, and maybe next week I'll show my 18 van. I bought a little 18 toy van. I thought it was going to be much bigger than it was, and when I got it, I was kind of disappointed, but it's still a perfect size for my GI Joes. So I just wanted to get that out there. But there was a reason why I was gonna show it, but I'll save that for another show.
Sounds good.
I want to thank everybody who came and joined the chat today, and got our caller Michelle and you guys for being here. And I just want to give my thanks and gratitude. That's all.
Yeah, and chat is funny, man. I had to have myself muted up when Michelle was talking because I started laughing at what Dan was saying and everyone else was saying. I was just cracking up the whole time. I just wanted you guys to know that. You guys are just funny as all get out, the chat is. Just saying. They was getting me in trouble, you know that?
Yeah, I was peeking in there from time to time. I saw what was going on.
But anyway, yeah. Armor Up, any last words?
Nope. Just take some time out. Go seek out the Father. Get to know him before it's too late. Because I guarantee you time's running out. Just a feeling I got. Just saying.
All right. Well, I guess we're out of here for everyone here at the Hebrew channel. This has been Hebrew along with Armor Up and Sagittarically Speaking, saying we'll see you next time. And do we want to play the intro for our exit, or just exit out?
I got it queued up. Let me share it.
All right.
Hopefully the sound will work this time. All right, here we go. You got me shared?
There we are.
S is for the S's that have disappeared. H is for Haas, it's changed, my dear. I is for incredible, lots of changes to our edibles. F is freaky cause Mandela effects are all the buzz. And T is for time that's running fast. Y is for your memories, hope they last. If it's not a fun day, won't you join me Shifty Sunday? Shifty Sunday for Emmys. Shifty Sunday, if you please.
All right, did the sound work?